Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Carter James Ranch on a beautiful Saturday morning here. We got the herd back here, and I just noticed that they pushed through my hot wire that was around the hay. That was not hot, so lesson number one, keep your wires hot. Anyhow, we've had a busy week this week, been moving the cattle off the Carter James Ranch and off the home place. We've been taking them out to Redemption, so come along with me today as we load some of them up. Also have a story I want to give you an update on. Well, obviously tell you guys, if you follow our Facebook page, we had a saga with the calf that we've been going through. So I'll tell you a little bit about that, show you some video of that. But thanks for hanging out today. Let's try to move some cattle and hope it all goes smooth. When you're working cattle and loading them all by yourself, it's always good to go through and double check that all your gates are shut and have a bag of cubes. Makes it a lot easier to get them coming. They hear this bag rustling or the bucket jingling and they all start walking this way. So I also noticed I have a calf that was chewing on a little bit of bale net wrap, so I'm hoping he comes running here because I need to make sure he hasn't swallowed any of that stuff. So let's hope enough of them come, at least the right ones. All right, so we got a good number of them caught up here, and now the issue is just trying to figure out if we're going to take calves or just mamas who haven't calved yet. So I've actually there's lots of little things to consider when we're doing this. If we're taking calves, we have to load them a certain way, and sorting calves and their moms, so this is my first year of having this many calves and whatnot, it becomes a little more problematic. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to not take a huge load. We're just going to take two mamas and their babies and then this one steer. So we'll just keep it simple, get these guys sorted off, and then we'll get them loaded. Well, I unloaded them without turning the camera on, but it's not too eventful. See them jump out of a trailer. But they wandered up the hill here, out here in the tall grass prairie of Redemption, and found the rest of the herd. So we have about, I'm kind of losing track now, but I think we probably have close to 40 of the animals out here. So we got them in a pretty large paddock just to keep them here while we get everyone else delivered. So that's back down the hill over there where the barn, the silo are. That's where we unload them at. There's a good sized pen. So as you can see, we've got some pretty good forage here. Better stuff than, or at least more quantity than what's at the Carter James and at the home place. This is actually a brome pasture. Looks like we have some other grasses mixed in here. But the majority of the property here is prairie grass. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the cattle perform on that. You always hear about the prairie grasses in Kansas that the buffalo grazed, and obviously at some point the brome was seeded in. You know, brome is great. It's a nutritious grass. I love it. It's good for feeding hay. Provides great protein, but the one downside to brome is it does require a lot of maintenance as far as fertilizer to have it grow. Now in our rotational system, I am curious, if you're grazing them real tight and you're putting down a lot of manure between the cattle and the sheep, it seems to me like that would give you enough fertilization. I think the key is getting it spaced out, so you just don't have a manure pile here and there and everywhere. So I think that's why people say you always need to be fertilizing it. So last night was their second night here, so everyone's good. I have been a little more nervous about the babies being out here, but we have a good sized herd. You know, we're a little more remote here, so we'll have more coyotes and stuff, but hopefully moms are doing a good job of keeping them at bay and protecting. That's why I'm glad there's a good sized herd. So yep, we're running some hot wire. We have one pond in this paddock, or in this pasture, so we'll just wagon wheel around it. Let me walk to the top of the ridge here so you can see down to the pond. I'm just getting to the top of the ridge here. Here's that pond. I actually wanted to walk down and see if they'd use the rock skirt. They do have some water with a little creek that runs back by the corral, and then there's actually some standing water down in here. Uh-oh, I see a little calf over here. I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know if it's fallen or something's wrong. Okay, sorry about that. I saw it. It must have fallen down that embankment or something. It was laying on its back, kicking its legs like it couldn't get up. So maybe let's try to go across there and shoo it back to mom. Hey baby, you all right? What you doing over here? Run her down and around back to the herd. Hopefully it stays this side of the hot wire here. Yeah, it looked like it had maybe fallen down or laid down or rolled down the hill and just couldn't get up. I saw those legs kick in and I kept thinking, uh-oh, somebody's having a seizure and dying on me. So that's good. But that was not the case. Given we're on a new property, don't want these calves wandering too far. But I know they'll explore a little bit. So, as you can see, good amount of foraging here. So they've got plenty of time to be here for a couple days as I continue to haul animals. Let's see, I can't tell. I couldn't see who that was, but it might have been a little baby heifer. So. All's well that ends well. I just sit down here for a minute amongst the herd. The only bad thing about sitting down in the prairies of Kansas is I'll have to do a tick check, which I have to do a tick check anyway. He was walking through, but yeah, this is quite a milestone. I'm pretty excited about getting all the animals out here. A little overwhelmed. This is just so different than what we've been doing, but you know, for those of you guys that have been on this journey with me, we started the ranch, decided to get into ranching 2 years ago in basically April of 2022, and now it's May 11th, 2024. So not from ranching backgrounds. There's been a lot going on, so we've kind of been growing the herd, adding animals. We've basically gone through calving last year, which we only had about 5 calves, I think, last year total, 5 or 6, and then this year we're right at 28 calves now on the ground. We're expecting another 6 more this spring, and then we'll have another group in another group's going to come in the fall. So the ranch is built. Basically, I did want to tell you a quick story about how this property came to be. We had a couple other smaller pieces of property that I was just kind of using as investment and leasing them out, and then once I decided to get into ranching, I realized I need to start using some of our land, and how spread out our land was, I realized it wasn't going to be good for wouldn't be efficient for, you know, using it ourselves. So started looking to try to buy some ground, kind of consolidate, sell some, consolidate. So I was looking to get some ground closest to our biggest property, and was asking the Lord to provide something, and just totally trusting in Him. And things just weren't working out. There was a property right across the street. It wasn't for sale, but we were trying to get the older landowner to sell it, and she wasn't interested in doing it at that point in time. And I just totally gave the whole thing over to the Lord and said, God, I don't know how to do this. I don't know what's going to go on here. And what was interesting is this property was emailed to me. It wasn't on the market. It wasn't even in the area that I was looking for, really. And I actually didn't even look at it for a couple days. I kind of blew it off, and then out of respect to the realtor, I said, you know, I need to look at it and just get back to her and tell her, hey, I'm not interested. So I opened it up, and all of a sudden my interest was piqued, and I said, wow, this is not even what I was looking for. And we started going down the road, and the owners of this place were great. It's been their family for a long time, and we ended up being able to acquire it with the sale of some other smaller pieces of ground. So, you know, originally I had to fix this pond that we've done videos on, and there's some other things that need to be fixed. And so I initially thought, hey, I've always liked the name, you know, Redemption Ranch, and obviously our ranch name is the Carter James Ranch, and there's the Carter James Ranch, but we just named this property Redemption. Initially I said, okay, I'm gonna name it Redemption because I'm gonna bring this back to its former glory. And the longer I've been here at the property, I've just realized I'm not gonna redeem this. I said, this property is so beautiful, and being out here, there's just something that touches your soul out here. I said, I'm gonna be the one that's gonna be redeemed. God has revealed his majesty to me through this ranching endeavor and through the beauty of his creation. And yeah, so I decided we have a logo for it, Redemption, the Carter James Ranch. So I'm pretty excited about being able to continue to expand. So as far as I've been away for YouTube, I think for a few weeks, just really struggled on what to do some videos on. I've been really busy with doing a lot of planning, and just really struggled to even have the motivation to do a video. So kind of thinking where I'm going to go from here. I just wanted to document getting into ranching. Hopefully if you followed my journey, things are doable. If you just stick with it, sometimes things take a lot longer than what you'd like, and that's okay. You just got to stick with it. And the one thing in my life, if you're willing to grind, things can work out. Sometimes you can just stay with things a long time. It'll take a little longer sometimes than you think, but the other reality I'm coming to is that nothing happens without God ordaining it, you know, good or bad. So I think that the Lord has allowed us to grow this operation. We're going to keep trying to do it. So yeah, so it's all that. I'm thankful for all of you guys that have come along for the journey here. You know, if you've been following us and you want to subscribe and like our videos, I'd love that. I'd love to grow the community, but really I just want to document what my experiences has been, and you can do this. There's been ups and downs. It's been a busy few weeks. I'm gonna run out of time on this video, but I'll do a short with that little other calf situation. But we had to put an older animal down about 2 weeks ago. She just went down and wouldn't get up. Couldn't get her up for a few days. She was 12 or 13, and she was one that came to me just a few months ago, and had to put her down, so that wasn't fun. I think this whole thing, I've had a much greater appreciation for life, and I think so many people in our modern world have gotten away from this lifestyle. It's evident by our society how we don't value life, even human life. And in this ranching deal, you look death right in the face, and you got to deal with it. It's sad. You move on, but I've just realized that life is so precious, and you want to fight for it, you know, because it's a beautiful thing. So that's it. I'll quit rambling here on the video, but just wanted to show you this load coming out here to Redemption, and the cattle are just, let me flip you around here so you can see them. They're just, it's mid-morning here, so they're just laying down, ruminating with the babies, getting their fill. So appreciate you guys watching. Like I said, if you're not subscribed and you'd like to continue to follow our journey, love it if you came along, subscribed, liked the video. So love any comments you've got. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and get on out of here. I got to go fix a fence. I got to put a T-post in and reattach some wire along this fence line over here for our next move here in a couple days, once we get more of the cattle out here. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching. Appreciate you coming along. Glad to show you part of Redemption here, and we'll see you in the next video. God bless, and do right in the eyes of the Lord.